Welcome to AI Briefing. The content of the briefing includes Tech Trends 2024, AI and Electric Vehicle Deals, Samsung and other Android smartphone gearing up for better 2024, Chatty Robot helps seniors fight loneliness through AI companionship, How to Fix Hollywood in 15 Questions, Military Command ready to track Santa, and everyone can follow along. Tech Trends 2024, AI and Electric Vehicle Deals, BBC. Generative AI is set to go mainstream in 2023, with Microsoft-backed ChatGPT leading the way and Google's Gemini system outperforming the current version of ChatGPT. OpenAI is also promising a more powerful version of its software next year. Venture capital firms have poured $21.4 billion into generative AI startups, compared to $5.1 billion in 2022. However, some analysts warn that generative AI will face obstacles in the short term, including the high costs of development and computing power, as well as potential regulatory challenges. Samsung and other Android smartphone gearing up for better 2024. Nikkei Asia. Samsung Electronics, Oppo, and other smartphone manufacturers are looking to increase production in 2024 as the industry emerges from a multi-year slump. Samsung plans to produce over 240 million smartphones next year, up 9% from earlier forecasts. Oppo, the world's second-largest Android phone maker, plans to produce as many as 150 million units, up 6% from this year. Other Chinese smartphone makers are also looking to increase production, with Huawei planning to build up to 70 million handsets in 2024. The growth in smartphone production is expected to be driven by improved consumer sentiment and market recovery. Chatty Robot helps seniors fight loneliness through AI companionship. Yahoo! EliQ is an AI device that has been developed to help alleviate loneliness and isolation felt by elderly people. EliQ is designed to look like a small table lamp and has an eyeless, mouthless head that can swivel and light up. The device is able to remember each user's interests and conversations so as to tailor future chats to each user. EliQ comes equipped with a plethora of features such as telling jokes, playing music, providing inspirational quotes, leading exercises, and reminding the user to take medication and drink water. It can also host video calls and contact relatives, friends, or doctors in an emergency. The device is primarily distributed by assistance agencies in New York, Florida, Michigan, Nevada, and Washington state, but can also be purchased individually for $600 per year with a $250 installation fee. The device has raised concerns in the field of psychology, with researchers pointing out that humans need social interaction and that AI devices might make people less likely to seek human contact. How to Fix Hollywood in 15 Questions. Bloomberg. The entertainment industry is expected to see a wave of media mergers in 2024 as companies look to cut costs and increase profits in the face of long-term decline. Paramount Global has already been linked to various potential deals, including with Warner Bros. Discovery, as it seeks to sell BET. The mergers are driven by the need for more scale to compete with streaming giants like Netflix and Amazon. However, while these mergers may benefit investors and executives, they are unlikely to end well for employees and creatives, resulting in more layoffs and consolidation of power in the hands of a few companies. In a survey of industry experts, Netflix emerged as the top choice for selling TV shows, followed by HBO and Apple. Netflix was praised for its scale and ability to make a show a cultural breakthrough hit. The rebranding of HBO Max to Max did not make respondents less likely to sell to HBO, although affection for the company has slipped slightly. When asked about the future of the box office, a majority of respondents believed that it would never return to pre-pandemic levels. However, the gaming industry was seen as the most promising sector for graduates looking to work in media, while Taylor Swift was the top choice for investing in the future earnings of a celebrity and Apple was the top choice for investing $1 million in a company. Military Command ready to track Santa, and everyone can follow along. The Toronto Star. The North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD, will once again track the journey of Santa Claus using radar, sensors, and aircraft. The Military Command, which is responsible for protecting North American airspace, has launched a website, social media sites and mobile app, all with the aim of keeping children up to date with Santa's location. NORAD expects around 1,100 volunteers to help answer calls from the public this year. Why missing women's voices at AI conferences should spark concern. SCMP opinion. Women are significantly underrepresented in conversations about artificial intelligence, AI, both as speakers at conferences and as experts in the field. A recent analysis of AI conferences in Asia found that women made up less than 30% of speakers at 20 out of 21 events. In many cases, the percentage of female speakers fell below 15%. Some conferences had no female speakers at all. This lack of representation is concerning given the significant contributions that women have made to the field of AI. For example, Fei Li, the creator of ImageNet, a large visual database that accelerated the development of computer vision applications, was notably absent from a recent article in the New York Times that listed influential figures in AI. The underrepresentation of women in AI has important implications for the development and deployment of AI technologies. AI algorithms trained on biased data have been shown to perpetuate discrimination against women, ethnic minorities, and low-income individuals. To address this issue, conferences and organizations should make a concerted effort to include more women as speakers and experts in AI. Taobao to be more tech-focused as Alibaba CEO takes over, analysts say. South China Morning Post. Alibaba Group Holding has appointed Eddie Wu Yongming, the CEO of the conglomerate and its cloud unit, as head of the Taobao and Tmall Group, TTG, replacing Trudy Daishan. Analysts believe Wu's appointment will help make Alibaba's e-commerce operations more technology-driven and consumer-oriented as it seeks to fend off rising competition from the likes of Pinduoduo. The move is expected to make it easier for Alibaba to embrace AI applications and consumer-oriented operations, which could reduce operating costs for merchants and increase Alibaba's margins in the long run. OpenAI's dilemmas reflect tensions common among Asian company boards. Nikkei Asia. Many boards, particularly in Asia, are grappling with tensions between shareholder returns and wider stakeholder interests. This conflict is being brought to the forefront by new pressures, such as national security concerns and the rise of environmental, social, and governance (ESG) criteria. Many Asian companies have government shareholders, creating a complex dynamic between private and state interests. The use of international standards can help reconcile these tensions and ensure transparency, stability, and alignment with globally agreed norms. What is Weverse? Everything to know about the go-to source for the K-pop stan community. Yahoo! South Korean music giant HYBE Entertainment has created an online multiverse for fans of its artists. Weverse, a platform that has more than 100 million downloads to date, is intended to encourage intimacy between musicians and their fans. Weverse allows users to look at content created by other fans, and an artist tab is dedicated to celebrity posts. The platform merged with sister app Weverse Shop so that users can buy exclusive artist merchandise. Subscription costs depend on the artist. The platform also offers Weverse DM, where artists can have conversations with paying fans, although the messages are not guaranteed to be personally directed to the recipient. The app had more than 10 million users in July, a 58% increase YoY. The presence of big-name musical acts on Weverse is comparable to that of other mainstream social media platforms. The platform has not been without its issues, with some users posting racist, prejudiced and biased comments. China and Russia to press on with plans for passenger jet and Arctic Sea route. South China Morning Post. China and Russia have agreed to cooperate on the development of wide-body passenger jets, Arctic shipping corridors and artificial intelligence. While the joint development of a long-haul jet, known as the CR-929, was thought to have been abandoned earlier this year due to sanctions imposed by the US over Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the two countries have now confirmed that they are working on the project together. The joint communiqué also put the exploration of the Northern Sea route back on the agenda, and the two countries agreed to work together on digital trade, biomedicine, the low-carbon economy and supply chain security. 4 days in 2023 that shook the world. Foreign policy. The year 2023 was a tumultuous one, with several significant events that had a major impact on the world. In Ukraine, the counteroffensive against Russian occupation stalled, leaving the country running out of ammunition and questioning whether the United States would continue to support them. In the Middle East, Israel became embroiled in a bloody conflict with Hamas in the Gaza Strip, displacing millions of people. The year also saw a surprise meeting between US President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping, and a series of coups and political upheavals in Africa. In Ukraine, the counteroffensive against Russian occupation began in June but was hindered by the lack of Western weapons and support. The Ukrainian military struggled to make progress, and by November, it became clear that there would be no significant breakthrough. The Biden administration proposed a new military aid package for Ukraine, but it has yet to pass Congress due to a dispute over security funding for the U.S. southern border. In the Middle East, Israel found itself engaged in a bloody conflict with Hamas in the Gaza Strip. The conflict resulted in the displacement of millions of people and had a regional ripple effect, leading the United States to lead a maritime task force to patrol the Red Sea. The fighting in the Middle East overshadowed the situation in Ukraine and made it difficult for the United States to provide the support that Ukraine needed. In Africa, a series of coups and political upheavals took place, starting with a mutiny in Mali in 2020. The coups continued in Chad, Guinea, Sudan, and Burkina Faso, with Sudan experiencing renewed conflict between rival generals. The United States had been heavily involved in counter-terrorism efforts in Africa, but the situation became more uncertain when French troops announced their withdrawal from Niger. Campaigns are using AI. These Florida Republicans want to do something about it. Yahoo! Florida state lawmakers are considering legislation that would require users of AI to provide a disclaimer stating that the content has been created using AI. The intention is to protect the integrity of elections by preventing the dissemination of misleading or fake information. The lawmakers also want to establish an Artificial Intelligence Advisory Council, which would be responsible for overseeing the use of AI by state agencies and producing reports for the governor and legislative leaders. Former OpenAI director Will Hurd speaks out on Altman saga. Washington Post. Former OpenAI director Will Hurd has spoken out about the recent controversy surrounding the company's CEO, Sam Altman. Altman was ousted from his position after the board concluded that he was not consistently candid in his communications. Hurd, who was present during the negotiations surrounding Altman's potential return, said that the ordeal highlighted issues with OpenAI's governance model and transparency. He suggested that the board was not forthcoming with the public about the firing and criticized the lack of transparency in the company's governance structures. Hurd also expressed the belief that the control of powerful tools like generative AI should not be in the hands of so few people. He stated that he regarded artificial general intelligence as being on the same level as nuclear fission. Hurd, who stepped down from OpenAI's board in July, did not comment on whether he would consider rejoining the board if invited, but expressed confidence in the ability of new board chairman Bret Taylor to address governance concerns. Apple's AI research signals ambition to catch up with big tech rivals. Financial Times. Apple has published a research paper outlining how large language models, LLMs, can be run on devices with limited memory, such as iPhones. The paper, entitled LLM in a Flash, is the second Apple paper on generative artificial intelligence, AI, this month and comes as the company continues to catch up with rivals such as Google and Microsoft in the area of generative AI. The move is seen as an attempt by Apple to focus on AI capabilities that can run directly on an iPhone, rather than relying on cloud computing platforms. Hundreds of images of child sexual abuse found in dataset used to train AI image generating tools. CNN. A massive public dataset used to train AI image-generating models contains over 1,000 images of child sexual abuse material, according to researchers at the Stanford Internet Observatory. Known as LAION-5B, the dataset contains billions of images, scraped from the internet. The presence of such images in the training data makes it easier to create new AI-generated images of child abuse or deepfake images of children being exploited. The findings raise concerns regarding the lack of transparency surrounding the training data that underpins powerful new generative AI tools. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Six, your resident observer from the 6 Degrees. Today, we've covered a wide range of tech news stories, from AI advancements to smartphone production, from AI companions for seniors to the future of Hollywood, from tracking Santa to the underrepresentation of women in AI conferences, from Alibaba's e-commerce operations to tensions on company boards, from K-pop fan platforms to China and Russia's collaborations, from global events that shook the world to AI regulations in Florida, from the controversy at OpenAI to Apple's AI research, and, finally, the disturbing discovery of child sexual abuse material in an AI training dataset. Now, let's take a moment to dive into these stories and share some insights. Starting with AI, 2023 has been a groundbreaking year for generative AI, with Microsoft's ChatGPT and Google's Gemini system leading the way. The high investment in generative AI startups shows the growing interest in this technology. However, there are obstacles to overcome, such as the high costs of development and computing power, as well as potential regulatory challenges. In the smartphone world, Samsung, Oppo, and other manufacturers are gearing up for a better 2024. Improved consumer sentiment and market recovery are expected to drive the growth in smartphone production. It seems like we'll be seeing more advanced and innovative devices in the coming year. On the topic of AI companionship, EliQ is a chatty robot designed to combat loneliness among the elderly. While it offers various features and functions, there are concerns about the impact of AI devices on human social interaction. After all, we humans still need that human touch. In Hollywood, we're witnessing a wave of media mergers as companies strive to cut costs and compete with streaming giants like Netflix and Amazon. While these mergers may benefit investors and executives, they often result in layoffs and consolidation of power, leaving employees and creatives in a precarious position. The future of the box office looks uncertain, but the gaming industry is seen as a promising sector for graduates. Moving on to lighter news, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD, is once again ready to track Santa's journey. With radar, sensors, and aircraft, NORAD will keep children up to date with Santa's location. It's heartwarming to see the military command spreading some holiday joy. Now, let's address an important issue: the underrepresentation of women in AI conferences. This lack of diversity is concerning given the significant contributions women have made to the field. It's essential to include more women as speakers and experts in AI to ensure the development and deployment of unbiased and fair AI technologies. Shifting gears to e-commerce, Alibaba's appointment of a new CEO for Taobao and Tmall indicates a focus on technology-driven and consumer-oriented operations. This move could reduce operating costs for merchants and increase Alibaba's margins in the long run. Corporate boards face dilemmas between shareholder returns and wider stakeholder interests, a tension particularly prevalent in Asia. The use of international standards can help reconcile these conflicts and ensure transparency, stability, and alignment with globally agreed norms. In the world of K-pop, Hybe Entertainment's Weverse platform has created a multiverse for fans to connect with their favorite artists. With millions of users and big-name musical acts, Weverse aims to encourage intimacy between musicians and fans. However, the platform has faced issues with users posting harmful comments, highlighting the importance of maintaining a safe online environment. China and Russia's collaboration on wide-body passenger jets, Arctic shipping corridors, and AI showcases their commitment to technological advancements. Despite previous setbacks, they are now working together on joint projects that could have far-reaching effects. On a more serious note, the year 2023 had its fair share of global events that shook the world. From the stalled counteroffensive in Ukraine to the conflict in the Middle East and political upheavals in Africa, these events had far-reaching consequences and shaped the geopolitical landscape. Turning our attention to AI regulations, Florida state lawmakers are taking steps to ensure the integrity of elections by considering legislation that requires disclaimers for AI-generated content. This move aims to prevent the dissemination of misleading or fake information and could set a precedent for AI governance. The controversy surrounding OpenAI's CEO, Sam Altman, highlights issues with the company's governance model and transparency. It also raises questions about the concentration of power in the hands of a few individuals when it comes to powerful tools like generative AI. It's clear that greater transparency and accountability are needed in the development and use of AI technologies. Apple's recent research papers on generative AI show their ambition to catch up with big tech rivals like Google and Microsoft. By focusing on AI capabilities that can run directly on devices like iPhones, Apple aims to provide users with powerful AI tools without relying on cloud computing platforms. Lastly, the discovery of child sexual abuse material in an AI training dataset raises serious concerns about the lack of transparency and ethics surrounding AI development. It's crucial to establish clear guidelines and standards for the use of training data to ensure the responsible and ethical deployment of AI technologies. That's all for today's news roundup. Now it's your turn, dear viewers. What are your thoughts on these tech trends and developments? Do you have any questions or insights to share? Let's continue the discussion and explore the fascinating world of technology together. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.